Hi, ladies. Keri here. I'm excited to be back with you this week. And I have an interesting conversation to have with you. So, I want to talk to you today about that the context is everything. Now, some of you may be familiar with that phrase, and some of you may not have ever heard of that phrase. And, but I think it's important. And I think it's important to talk about our clothes, and I think it's important to talk about life. But we're going to relate it to clothes. So first of all, if you've never heard of context, what is context? So context by definition is the general situation that explains why something happens. I think context and mindset also have a lot to do with one another. And mindset is a big buzzword right now. And I want to talk about this today because I noticed this morning I brought awareness for myself to my context. So, as it relates to getting dressed. So, recently it's been raining here in Denver the last couple days. And I notice I am not particularly fond of rain. I'm so grateful I don't live in Seattle. I would have to move away. Um, but I noticed that when it rains, I'm perplexed on how to dress. I go to my closet. I before I even get there, I'm frustrated because I think, okay, it's not warm, it's not cold, it's kind of in between, but it's wet. And that determines everything about what I'm going to wear that day. So it determines if I'm going to wear open-toed shoes or closed-toed shoes, and what shoes can I wear that aren't going to get ruined in the rain. And although it stopped raining, will it rain again today, which would impact my outfit? And then should I put on layers because I don't know what the temperature is going to do? Or should I wear a sweater? Or should I just get confused. Can you tell? Um, I get really, really confused about rain. In other words, if you're one of my clients or someone who wants advice from me about how to dress in the rain, I am not your girl. That is not my area of expertise. I am figuring it out for myself. And in fact, you would not want to dress like me in the rain. I own one pair of rain boots and they're cute, but they're flats and I don't typically wear flats. So I wear them to run to Starbucks. I'll wear them to, I don't know, take my dog for a walk, but I'm not going to wear them all day. So I've got to figure out the shoe situation and how do I look cute in the rain. Okay, so this all happened this morning, real life example. And I noticed my context was I don't do good in the rain. I don't know how to look good in the rain. And given that that's my context, that's all that could show up. All that could show up for me is frustration and not knowing how to do something. So, therefore, obviously, getting dressed this morning took a lot longer than most days. Why am I telling you this? Because I know that for most women out there, I'm going to take a guess. For most women out there, from day to day, you have this experience, but it might not be about the rain. So maybe you go to your closet and you look and you're instantly frustrated. Maybe it happens on your walk to your closet that you get frustrated. Maybe it happens when you know it's time to go get dressed. Frustration comes over you, sort of like a cloud. And maybe it's frustration because you know you're not going to be able to find something that you feel good in. Maybe it's frustration because you're rushed. Maybe it's that you gained weight and things aren't going to fit you right. I'm not sure what it is for you, but I do know in talking to thousands of women over the years that this is a common experience is we have we already know how it's going to go when we get to our closet. And so we've already created a context as we walk to our closet. The context could be, or, a bad mindset. It could be, I'm not going to find anything. I don't have time for this. Nothing's going to fit. I don't look good in anything. I don't like the weather today. I don't know what it is for you, or I just don't have the right pieces. But that context will determine everything about your experience getting dressed. So I have an idea, which tends to work for me. So I'm going to give you this idea / exercise and hope that it works for you too. And what that is that in the moment that I notice that I have a context that's not empowering me, because I am committed to being empowered in life. So if I notice a context that's not empowering me, I step back. So this morning I did exactly that. I stepped back and I took a deep breath. And then I considered, well, if I did know how to dress on a rainy day, what would I wear? And life in that moment changes. Life gets easier. It changes. Perhaps I even got a little happier in that moment. And I'm thrilled with what I have on today now. I chose a lightweight sweater and some ripped jeans. And I have this cute pair of red slip-on heels, a little heel, and they're suede and they're waterproof. Therefore, I don't care if they get wet. So it was a good compromise for me, but I had to step back and take a deep breath. So a lot of times women tell me, I have nothing in my closet. I have nothing to wear. There's nothing in there that looks good on me. I don't know that that's always the truth. I think that you've gotten frustrated a lot of times and therefore it feels like the truth. Perhaps it's just the context that you're coming from. But if you took a step back and you took a deep breath and re-looked at the situation, you might be surprised. Maybe there's something in your closet that you forgot that you even had that makes you feel amazing. And had you not changed the context and chose to view life differently in that moment, you would have never found it. Because I find those items in people's closets all the time. And they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I do feel cute in that item. Okay, so that's about going to your closet in the morning because I know that that is a big, big, big frustration for people. Now I want to talk about, well, on a side note, I just want to share we are in the middle of a 3-part live masterclass on Facebook that I'm hosting. And that's one of the conversations we're talking about and going to continue talking about. So if you happen to listen to this podcast, let's see, today is May 12th. If you happen to listen to this podcast before May 18th, which is when the masterclass will be over, you can jump in and join. You can email assistant at your curated style and we can send you a link to register, or you could go to Facebook and ask to join the group. So that was a sidebar. So now let's talk about context about shopping. Okay. So the same thing happened shopping. A lot of people get frustrated. So maybe you need something in particular. Maybe you need a raincoat. Or maybe you need, I don't know, some clothes for a new trip. And so you venture out to go shopping and you look to see what's your attitude that day. This is what I recommend because most people don't. Most people go shopping, they get frustrated. An hour later, they think, ugh, I'm never going to find anything. And yet they keep looking. I don't know why you keep looking. It's never going to go well for you. If you keep shopping, you're going to keep having the same experience. So my recommendation is pause, take a step back, take a deep breath, look to see what's the context. Is it I'm never going to find something? Is it I don't have time for this? Is it nothing looks good on me? But take a step back and look to see how you're viewing it. And then in a moment, shift it, change the context. See if you can create something that empowers you. See if you can create, I'm going to find the perfect item that I'm looking for in the next hour. Play a game with yourself. Make it be adventurous. Make it be fun. Choose something that's empowering. And by the way, in every moment of our lives, we have an opportunity to change our context because our context determines everything about our lives. So although I'm talking about clothing, I'm talking about going into your closet and getting dressed, and I'm talking about shopping because that's what I do. This is so much more powerful and so much beyond how we look. You could put this to use in every area of your life. Let's say you're working and things aren't going your way and you're hitting brick walls, metaphorically speaking. You could stop, take a breath, and notice what's the context and change the context. Choose to view things in a new light, create the new situation, and life gets easier. Or let's say you're having a conversation with someone and it's a struggle, it's not going well. You can change the context. Also, I'm going to give you one of my favorite things to do. I am big into energy, and I believe that everything is energy, including us, and every single thing is energy. And so if I'm in a frustrating conversation or a frustrating situation, I pretend to blow it up. So I visualize literally blowing up that situation. I don't blow up the person, maybe metaphorically, but I visualize blowing up the interaction, blowing up the circumstances, blowing up whatever isn't working for me. And then I create newly. Like, I'm willing for this situation to be turned around right now. I'm willing to love this person. I'm willing to love this situation. So these are just a few tips that I use, and I really hope they're valuable. And obviously, I could go so deep into the conversation about creating context and about mindset, but I just wanted to, on this lovely rainy day, create a little nugget for you to change the way you view life, but specifically the way that you view your clothing, the way that you view getting dressed. You could even look at what's the context that you have about your body. What's the context you have about makeup, about your hair, about whatever. You can use this in whatever area that you want. So I really hope it's valuable for you. I'd love to hear how you're going to change the context, create a new context that empowers you. And if you enjoy this podcast, then subscribe and give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends. And I can't wait to talk to you next week. And thank you so much for joining us. See ya.